All right, we're live with the other camera. Let me plug in the mic on that camera to take down the wind. So the close-up Nikon T1000 camera is hooked up. It just went live. It may be. We're gonna see how the stream goes because we are close to the build site, and that usually means that the stream we get a lot of lag in the stream and stuff like that. So it'll be an experiment. My other option is when I get down to this area are to record it in 4K on a Nikon and just upload it later. So I do have that stream live. So we'll get a bunch of close-up shots, see how the day goes. I will be heading down to the launch site as well a little bit later. I want to see if I can get, if they lift it, to be here when they lift it. All right, everybody. I get some close-ups of the guys over there and the workers, the ladies. It's pretty much in focus. The mic is on. We do have some wind, so I apologize for the wind on the mic that way, on the close-up camera. All right, we got a nitrogen truck passing by in front of us. It's going to the Sanchez site to the left. Yeah, it's looking solid, no animals. Everybody. And of course, we got the, on the close-up camera, I will get a shot of that nose cone as well. It is viewable from this location. So we're set up. If they, I'm set up, and we're set up to view. They do that launch at that lift on the right. I'll stay here for a little while. The sun is coming out, so I will hold the umbrella. That'll cut down on the wind as well. I'll stay here for a little bit, see what happens, but the screen just went a little dark. So I'll hold the umbrella for the screen here. It's a hot day out here, everybody. Michael, yeah, good day so far. Appreciate it, Mike. Good day to you too. Everybody else that watches. Let me tilt down here. I can zoom in a little bit too. Looks good. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, everybody. I guess I can move the camera around a little bit on the close-up camera. Yeah, move it around a little bit. Lego needs a Starbase Lego kit. They have. I wonder if they're doing something like that, right? You know, I believe that SpaceX, or I think it was SpaceX, did a deal with. I think it was China or Google, with Google. I think they did a. I've seen some videos on YouTube. I haven't watched them, but about SpaceX doing game changer deals with Google and stuff like that. So maybe they can, maybe they are, or maybe they can do something with Lego. Yeah, sure, that'd be a hot seller. Good one, no enemies. Yep. So I'll get a shot over by the rocket too, not with the close-up camera. I'll get a shot not with camera 2, but with the close-up camera as well. If I could turn it that direction, there are some interesting things to see over to the left of this shot. I might, yeah, I'm not sure if I can do it with the iPhone, but let me, I'll do it with the P1000 here. And I'll just show something here to the left. You can see Booster 2.1, they've added something on top of it. We'll get a shot of that. Sorry, that's the sound of my umbrella in the wind, everybody. They have something on top there of Booster 2.1. Pretty interesting. See if anyone knows what that's about. Yeah, it does look smooth. I can zoom in on that too. Yeah, I do a little zooming on the camera too here as well. It'll loosen it up a little bit. Let's see, loosen. I'm gonna go down to the launch site after this, get some daytime shots of the booster for Warren, the orbital launch platform. See if they're doing anything with the Starship. So I'll cover the whole main gate down there at the launch site after this. What I'm seeing, yeah. All right, so let me see. I'll come back to, I'll get some shots once more of the Booster 2.1 with the camera close up. And then I will move everything back toward the high bay construction and point something out. Okay, I'll lock that in there for a moment. I'll get back to this, zoom out. Okay. We can see the section that they're working on there on the right. It looks like they need a bunch more walling, siding on that. I think yesterday when they lifted that first section up on the left, which is not in the view currently, it had all the siding on it. So I don't know if they want to complete the siding on the section we're looking at that's connected to that yellow crane on the right before they lift it. That would make sense. So that would lead me to believe that they're not going to lift that soon. So I'll probably come back to this location unless any of you disagree with me, because that seems to be the logic that, yeah, it's a huge section that they got there connected to that crane. Huge. But it would seem that they would want to, well, there's a, all right, we can maybe, we'll look at the crane, because maybe it's in two pieces. If it's in two pieces, then that piece in the back on the right that's away from us, maybe that's ready to go. I don't know, but it looks to me like they're both connected to that same crane, but maybe not. Yeah, I think maybe not. Maybe they are separate. That piece in the back, because I'll get the other camera around. I don't know if you can check out the other camera. It's simultaneous, but I will turn it to the right again, and we can check out some close-ups of the connections. I think that is two pieces that we're looking at back there. So on the close-up P1000 camera, we can see they have stacked the piece yesterday that is up there, and it's looking good. But it looks to be just like one panel. It's one panel, and we'll see, I think, when we check out that other piece back there, it is connected to the two cranes. There's actually two cranes back there, two yellow ones. And maybe if if we follow the cables, it could be just attached to that piece in the back. And then this piece in the center of the screen there with siding facing us that they're working on, that could be a second piece. So I don't know if those cables are connected to the back piece or to the one that they're working on. If they are connected to that back piece, then they would be likely almost ready to lift that back piece, I would imagine. So I'll stay here for at least another 5 minutes, but you know, maybe they'll be lifting that soon. I don't know. Yeah, they maybe could be one large section or two. Yeah, not sure. Zoom out, give you some shots of those because there are two cranes back there, and the one crane is hooked up to those cables, right? And I'm not sure if that's connected to perpendicular pieces or to the parallel section. Hey, Bethany. Yeah, I got something, I think, from a Vartech or something from Canada, and I haven't figured out how to, you know, a donation. And I haven't. I think that only works with Canadian banks. I have until January to figure it out. But from international donations, I think MoneyGram to my name in Brownsville, Paul S Mamakos in Brownsville, to any MoneyGram location, and then send me a message about whatever funds sent, then I would be able to get it. That's easier than me setting up a bank account compatible with Canada, at least for now, or anywhere in the world. I think MoneyGram is the best way, if not crypto or PayPal, if that's possible. But yeah, I haven't figured out how to accept the donation from Canada yet. I appreciate it tremendously, but you know, it's a good challenge. If anyone knows how to do that bank-to-bank transfer from Canada to the U.S., let us know. Let me know. Oh, that is connected to the big Buckner crane, and the skinnier yellow crane on the right is just its cable is hanging. We can see it there, just to the top left of the nose cone is that skinnier crane connector. EDP F Florida. But the pieces that the wall is connected to are connected to the big Buckner lever crane. Is there anything you guys would like to see, or ladies would like to see on the site today? If there is, let me know. Any requests or anything else you'd like to check out. I can do a shot of with the close-up camera. I'll do a shot of the nose cone. I believe it's which nose cone is it? Let's see. This may be 21. Could be 21. Starship 21. It's to the left of the mid bay there, which has apparently has the two base, torsos of the Starship in there, side by side, apparently. But that nose cone is right there as well. They're doing some work on that. They got some lifts over by that nose cone on the Nikon P1000 camera. I got that in view right now. So we are at the build site. This is not Starship 20. This is Starship one of the other starships, I believe, maybe 22. MB, hard to see the cap through the steel. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I will get a shot of that with the other camera as well. Thanks for the suggestion, EDPFLA. I don't know if you can. There's a second live stream I got concurrently with this. I've got two cameras right now, so check that out. And I will do a view of the cab of the Buckner crane. I'll try and get that shot. Just a moment. So moving this from the nose cone to, we're gonna go check out the. See if I can get the cab of the. That's the sound of my umbrella in the wind, everybody. See if we get to check out the cab for the big Buckner crane. I don't see anybody in the cab. We don't see any. I don't know if you can see that on the other live stream, but I've got it in view. EDP, Florida. Yeah, it is quiet right now, right? Pre-lit 5. Oh, that's interesting. Interesting. It just did a major move yesterday, so of the big booster 4 onto the orbital launch platform. So maybe they're processing that success and thinking about moving the Starship up there as well. Yeah, the wind might be a problem. Good point there. I didn't think of that. Yeah. Yeah, that is an issue probably. Hey, Liam. Leon. Nice, man. So that was the cab for the Buckner crane. You can see the name on the side there, Buckner. And that's attached to the section there on the right. Feels get a little bit sense of the ocean when the wind starts going like that. You know, the jib and the wind. I like being in the ocean. So if I had my choice, I would be on a boat right now somewhere in the ocean. Probably do have my choice. I just haven't set it up. I gotta find me a sailboat and somebody who knows how to. Yeah, okay, that is true. EDP at Florida says I could literally live in the nose cone, just put some windows in it, and you never have to replace the roof. That's an awesome idea. You know, I had a 30-foot dome that I lived in since I built it. I got the certificate of occupancy in 2010 after I bought 5 acres of land. I cleared the trees. I had the pad leveled, and then I had the contractor put in footers, and we put in a concrete floor with some radiant floor heating. And then they put a bunch of concrete block around the perimeter, and they redirected the water underneath the pad. But then they dug a trench and they put some underneath the whole slab. They had some gravel packed down, which they compacted. And then this is like 9-10 feet down because of the location. So they really put a solid foundation there. And then they put some foam in the floor, geodesic. And then they put the concrete on top of the foam. There was some radiant floor heating in the concrete as well. So radiant floor heating, and then they had a prefab geodesic dome from Pacific Domes in Oregon, I believe it is, that I bought a kit, and it was like a 2-inch wide metal poles, some vinyl, and then I had 2 inches of spray foam insulation sprayed on the inside. That closed cell foam insulation is really thermally great. It was really good with the temperature until many years later, the roof, the vinyl started going bad. So I think every 10 years you're supposed to replace the roof on that. But yeah, that steel probably would last a long time, right? Steel in this environment does, due to the salt air, does degrade. So I don't know if they would have to put some type of special paint on it to keep it from getting corroded. But outside of that, yeah. And that is, these things are about 30 feet diameter, so that's about the same. So I lived in something like of that dimension for over 10 years, most of it 10 years. So I did go on trips for a couple of years here and there, but what do they build? A new bay? This is a new high bay, like yeah, MB, great question. So to the right, on the right side of the screen, is that large black building. And so they're kind of duplicating that black building on the right, right over there on the left. And it's going to be a little taller than this building, actually, and a little wider as well. So it's going to be even taller and wider than that one on there on the right. I'll take it off the tripod and move it around by hand a little bit. Yeah, MB. Great question. Just a minute. Taking the camera off the tripod here. Yeah, you can see it there. So it's gonna be taller than that, and right next to it. I think they're hoping to be able to build a lot more boosters. So that these high bay buildings are where they build the boosters, I believe, unless something's changed. I haven't really been following the inside story about what's going on at SpaceX. I've just been more the photography, but yeah, they've been building the boosters in these tall buildings, and the starships they've been building in the mid bay. I'll get a shot of that with this iPhone camera here. On the right, we can see a lower, not as tall building there on the right, and this one here. This is called the mid bay because it's not as tall as the high bay, but it's about mid height. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where this one has about 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's another 2 up there. So yeah, is that 21? Good. Thanks, Michael. Starship 21 there on the right. And apparently there's 2 bases of starships in this mid bay right now. So the mid bay, I believe they build these starships in the mid bay, but they build the boosters in the high bay. Because the boosters are taller, so they need it to be high. There are apparently 2 bases of starships in this mid bay right now. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is 21 or 22, but I haven't seen 22, but I have seen 23. That over there is 23, nose cone 23. So 22 is somewhere. I was told that it was maybe, I'm not sure, either in here or here, I'm not sure. I'll do some close-ups with the Nikon camera of yesterday's piece, which got connected. I haven't done any close-ups with this section that they lifted yesterday. So I'll get that right now. I haven't been doing any timestamps in my videos, so if you ever see any awesome points in a video, you can comment below in the description, and I will add that to the description for other people who want to see it. If there's a good timestamp for me to put it in the description, just leave a comment on the video, and I will I see most, if not all, the comments that come in. I delete several comments also. If it's not a good comment, I will actively delete the comment, because I'm setting a mood here. I mean, if you watch some of my videos, a lot of right now, I've been setting a mood, MOOD, like a feeling, because what I do is about feeling as well. Because you know, to really to feel good energetically, you have to feel. So so I'm setting a mood, and if something doesn't feel good or sound good, I will delete it. Let me leave it here, just close up, and I'll get back to the iPhone just a minute. That's a good spot for me to leave the camera right now. You think they'll pick it up taller? That's an awesome idea. I never heard of that before. Oh wow, they can't stack a full ship in the high bay. That's cool. That's awesome. So they moved it back to the booster 5 back there. That's a great, probably maybe a great point. I'm not sure about that, because but it is interesting, because they do have a stand underneath the booster before they move it out of the high bay, I believe. Sebastian, I don't know. I have seen a snake before over at the dunes during the daytime. It was during the summertime though, so we're in the winter kind of here. But and then once in town, I saw a tarantula dead outside like a Napa Auto Parts or some kind of auto store. So somebody had killed this big black tarantula that was on the in town somewhere. But outside of those two snake incidents here, snake and tarantula, I haven't seen anything else. You know, I've seen rats, and also seen a big pig, a boar, hangs out, and some horses and some cows. But I've seen a bunch of wildlife, pelicans. There's a wide variety. Some turtles in the ocean. I've seen some sea turtles over by South Padre Island. Taylor, awesome. I'm doing okay, doing good. Better than yesterday, that's cool. Every day is a new day, and I've been debating about whether or not to share some information about the real estate in this area. I'm debating it. I have shared it in the membership only chat in the YouTube dashboard. So I have shared it with the YouTube people, but I haven't made it into a video. So if you go back in the dashboard in the messages and the YouTube as a member, you can see, I think I even labeled it very special, valuable piece of information. If you have any interest in the Boca Chica area or the launch site, within the last week, I believe it was, that I posted something over there that might be very interesting for some of you. Hey Rob, thank you, man. Yeah, thank you. I like doing this stuff. I like watching construction. I'm also working on the Ocean Cam mission, so this is hand in hand with what I like to do and what some of the vision for Ocean Cam involves. You know, it's SpaceX and getting people excited about space, or sharing the excitement that I have, or the excitement that you have and that I have, and collaborating with y'all in excitement, and doing bigger and better things here on the planet for ourselves and also for the future. So we're looking at on the hey, Buchanan, this is on the close-up camera, this is the section they lifted up yesterday onto the high bay area. I'll zoom out a little bit and I'll zoom back in. That's that section they lifted yesterday, a close-up of it. back in the chat on the iPhone. Taylor, but welcome. 5 months. 5 months. There's been a couple other individuals as well. Had that. They hit the 5-month mark yesterday, and 5 months. It's awesome. Yeah, it is. Right? Yeah, Taylor. Dogleg, right? LLC. That's awesome. They do own some over up by toward the satellite dishes. They have some other land that's marked as SpaceX owned, but that Dogleg LLC does own quite a bit of land. You know, they own the launch site. That's pretty cool. And then the United States of America owns several of the property plots south of the launch site. And then up north of the launch site, they own a bunch more up toward the South Padre Island, the United States of America. I don't even know if that's the United States government or just somebody who created a company called United States of America. But it is pretty interesting how the United States of America, whatever that means, owns some land south of the launch site and also a good ways north, maybe 2 miles or so north. It's funny as hell. And then it's good to see because we can see where the state owns land north of the launch site, a large section. And then the U.S., I think the U.S. Fish and Wildlife owns several plots around the launch site and also to the northwest of the launch site. So it kind of shows some of the different parties and the U.S. Fish and the U.S. I'm not sure. There's something reserve, wildlife reserve, owns several plots along the road between the build site and the launch site, but they only own like the first two rows going away from the road. The first 2 rows parallel with the road. They own several plots along there, but they don't own any of the plots behind that first 2 layers going back away from the road. So maybe they knew SpaceX was buying the land and they went and bought up the land just around that road, or maybe they owned it from a long time. Maybe it was benign. So no malice. Maybe they owned it from a long time ago and they just had sections along the road, and then SpaceX came and bought the property further deeper away from the road. So that is a possibility as well. But it's interesting how the wildlife reserve just owns. They own property around the launch site, and then they own it along the road between the build and launch sites, but they don't own it further away from the road. And there's a lot of individual property owners that own the land and the plots away from the road. But yeah, the wildlife reserve doesn't own the majority of the land closer toward the satellite dishes, but they do own quite a bit of the land north of the launch site and sporadically around the launch site. So I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it is interesting. Or maybe, I don't know how SpaceX or Dogleg Park got permission to buy that land. You know, who owned it originally? I should go back and check that out. Who owned the launch site area before? I think it was 2000 or 2001 is SpaceX Incorporated, but I should go back in the and see who owned that Dogleg Park area in the past, because that would give more reveal more of the activities that happened over the years, whether the reserve people owned that in the beginning or whether they came around afterwards to kind of limit SpaceX in their development. I'd be interested. Somebody should do some of that research, because that is interesting. I've been thinking about doing a video about that, but I didn't want to. Maybe that's something I need to do. But I didn't necessarily want to reveal the information around the launch site until I got my land to put a camera on, because I did reach out to over 80 property owners around the launch site there, so to see if I can buy or rent. I didn't want to. I'm not sure I want to affect that potential. Whether it would be better, let me know if you think it would be better for me to share that information and access that took me a good while to find and figure out about, to easily see who owns that land around the launch site with all the property owners' information. or whether I should keep that just in the membership only area until such time as I get a remote camera set up and I am active in owning, whatever, renting or owning or whatever, with a camera, remote camera. Because I don't know if it's good to be generous with the information or keep it until a future time when I can act from a position of more strength. Eddie Keenan, yeah, long way to go. Yeah, long way to go. They just moved that crane, that skinnier yellow crane there, so that's becoming active, or maybe just moving out of the way. We'll see. And the big Buckner crane is still attached to a section. I'm not sure we're going to see some movement here or not, but they are moving the big yellow crane there closer to us, out of the way, it appears. Maybe they're going to lift something, never know. There was an interesting video I saw in the past couple days, last few days, that says there's a channel called Valuetainment, like Valuetainment, by Patrick Bet David. So it's around 2 p.m. right now, so it's kind of getting later in the day. Yeah, so there's they're gonna lift a piece of metal here. That's what they're doing here with that yellow crane. Just a minute, I'll get that shot. Yeah, there's a channel called Valuetainment, and he put out a video, Patrick Bet David, about 3 kind of levels to what you're doing. You're doing average, you're kind of exceeding, or you're not meeting average. But each time you level up, you're back in the like, if you're really good at what you're doing. I may post this video. If you're I'm in the link to this guy's video. When you step up your game, then you're back to doing crappy. You're not the top of the game anymore. It's like when you get into from the junior league to the big league, you're kind of not as good. You're not when you're in the little league and you're pretty good for the little league, then you're the top of your game compared to other people. So there was like a 30 or 40 minute video on these types of concepts, really well thought out. And it was about, if you want to keep leveling up, you're going to have to keep like feeling like you suck, like you're terrible, because each time you level up, you're back toward the bottom of the barrel again for that level. So it's pretty cool. I'll probably share the link since I talked about it. Yeah, Patrick Bet David, Valuetainment, a lot of good information there. And I enjoy watching his shows. I have for several years, but I have let off, and I have picked him up on and off over the years. I mean, not too many years, about 2 years. I've been watching some of his stuff, material. Good channel. He's interviewed mafia. Recently, I saw a Jewish mafia video by Valuetainment where he was interviewing one of the guys. I mean, who used to run the not a coin machine, but like a gambling machine that you might find in a shop or something. But it had like 100 or 200,000 of these machines over the years, and this guy was making like 100,000 a week or something like that. So dollars, and altogether the whole industry was making like 5 million a week on these game machines. But yeah, Jewish mafia. I was watching a YouTube about that recently, and I have watched some other shows about like the Italian mafia and the underboss and all that kind of, how it all works and the respect. So that was one of the things that got to me. Is like one of the key things that I got a lot of things out of the videos, but one of them was like that you can go to the government and they will put you through the system, and between the attorneys and the legal stuff and everything like that, your case may take a couple of years or it could take 10 years to get resolved. But if you go to like some of these organizations, they operate on a mode of respect and honor. So and it'll get resolved very quickly. So that's kind of a interesting comparison, and also the concept that the government is like, and I've even heard Elon say this, that in the last week I saw 2 videos where they had clips of Elon saying, no, the government is like the largest corporation and they're allowed to kill people, and they have the biggest monopoly and they can never go bankrupt. So the government is like the largest organized crime family, is what this Valuetainment guy said. Now, organized crime is not necessarily crime, but organized corporation. Sorry for putting in the word crime in there. Yes, it's an organized corporation. I misspoke there. So, but yeah, just like any corporation, the government's a corporation, or maybe multiple corporations, and they're allowed to kill people, and they're allowed to print endless amounts of money, and they have a monopoly. And Elon said if any organization did what the government did, they would go out of business overnight. So I think Elon was saying it was kind of unfair that the government was so, like, if you the government is run so poorly, or maybe it is run excellently, but the actual goals and the means, the actual results that the government seeks are not shown in the private sector, in the public sector. They're kind of hidden from the public sector. He didn't say that, but that's kind of if the government is not incompetent, then the results that they seek are not for the private sector. They're not for the public sector. They're for the secret, hidden sectors. So that if the government is not incompetent, and the bureaucracy actually has an effective result, then the result is not for the people. It's for some other purpose, which is not obvious. But if it is incompetent, then would you rather invest in the government, or would you rather invest in a nimble company like SpaceX that can iterate or redesign and balance its budget? So I think that's what Elon was saying. It's pretty awesome. That's basically what the mafia guy, what was it? I saw it like yesterday or the day before. That's what the Jewish mafia guy was saying in that Valuetainment episode. I don't know if he would use the word mafia, but yeah, there's some misunderstandings about how there were a lot of the fighters in the early 1900s and even 1800s were Jewish guys, and they would, they were part of that organization, and they go and beat people up, to keep the order. I'll drop that topic, but it was a very enjoyable show. Yeah, so Patrick Bet David, I highly recommend checking out his channel. He's got hundreds of thousands of viewers, subscribers. I think he makes a multi-million-dollars a year. He just bought like a $25 million house, so he's not a beginner like me here in the YouTube world. He does insurance. He has thousands of insurance agents, but he also does a lot of personal development for people on YouTube and stuff like that. The house on the left with the red roof is I believe is a restaurant, Sebastian. It's one of the most beautiful things here on the site, as far as I'm concerned. All right, I will. I think I'm close to ending it. I think I'm over my time here actually, but we're just right on time. I'm right on time. I've been having fun chatting and sharing information. But if anybody thinks I should share that real estate information around the launch site, let me know. If you think I shouldn't, let me know. At the moment, I'm kind of holding off on sharing that information with the wider public, which is maybe a good thing for Ocean Cam. I'm not sure. But if you are a member, then you have free access to that content, which I shared a week or two ago. Very valuable information because it took me a while to find it. Yeah, I felt really awesome about getting that shot of the booster. Before getting to the launch site, and even the night before, I was like, I wonder, I think if I could get some shots of the Raptors on top of the orbital launch platform, that would be awesome. And I did get that shot. I got that footage. That was awesome. It's also like, I got to step up my game here. If I'm going to keep expanding and growing, I last night I posted something that if we can get to 80,000 subscribers, I'll send some more drinks to people. I sent drinks to somebody in Arizona. Subscribe for a drink. That's a real thing. I'll send either water or some smoothies or whatever awesome drink, non-alcoholic, that I can send to people. That subscribe. I mean, I could have said subscribe for a cookie, but the thing here at Ocean Cam or Space Corp is Ocean Cam. I trademarked the name Ocean Cam, so that is trademarked. But the thing about this channel is the water on the different moons and planets here in the solar system, the oceans, the liquid, whether it's water or something else, but the liquid oceans, to get that video photography. So, if we get into space, you're going to want some water to drink as well, or something to drink. So subscribe for a drink is kind of branded with the Ocean Cam or Space Corp mission. It's all about the liquid, right? The oceans on the different moons and planets in the solar system. So if when we get to 80,000 subscribers, I will send another round of drinks out, whether it's through Jamba Juice or whether it's in the United States or Canada. I have figured out how to do it internationally. I used a delivery service. I found out how to use a delivery service in Canada, and I had a pizza delivered to a guy up there with a couple drinks, bottles of water. So I have delivered remotely to Canada as well as Arizona. The thing about deliveries, I think the Arizona thing was around $30 and the Canada thing was around $40. So it's costly. So I can't do it every day, but at least at the moment. But as these subscribers get up there, and when we get to 80,000, I could have done it at 25,000, but that's kind of around the corner. I think it'd be a bigger to shoot for something like 80,000. I mean, I could have kept it kind of robotic and said, okay, 25,000, 50,000, 75,000. Each one of those things we do would like send some drinks out, but I think 80,000 is kind of a good number. It feels good to me. So I did commit to, when we get to 80,000, I'll send some more drinks to a bunch more people. So we can have that as a goal. You're welcome to get people to subscribe and promote what we're doing here. And if you'd like to be part of it, we can also, you can join me in this mission, and maybe be part of the company also in the future after you prove yourself. So yeah, there's it's happening, and 80,000 is the number. Spread the word. 80,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if it's getting funny, awesome, awesome. Yeah, keep the lights on, everybody. I think the gas to come out here and the wear on the truck, it's pretty obvious. The wear on the truck is it's going to cost me $1,000 to fix the engine. So even though the gas is about $10, $15 each way round trip during the day, I mean, you know, there's added cost, oil changes, and now an engine overhaul. So yeah, keep the lights on, everybody. Otherwise, I can just stop doing video here on site, and I can just get a job somewhere and do this on my part-time, the Ocean Cam thing, where I continue to work on the mission, not include SpaceX in my stuff. Stop doing the video photography and just work on collaborating with people in different space organizations, and work kind of like Blue Origin, where they don't do a lot of outward stuff, but they do a lot of desk work and organize it from that direction, the Ocean Cam mission. So I'm attempting to do it, and I have been doing it all this year here on site with the video photography out in the open, and every day, you know, most every day on the week during the week here. And I'll do what I can, but I will continue to move this forward, whether full time or part time. So yeah, but when you support the channel, that keeps it going. Sulfur King is probably one of the most prolific donators here and supporters. So funny, Sulfur King funny, everybody on YouTube. Thank you. If there's something you'd like to see, let me know. I will get some shots down at the launch site next. Wasn't sure if they were going to lift this section earlier, but as I'm walking away, if they start moving that picture up there, I will set up the camera again and do the live stream, which I thought maybe they would do, moving that wall a little earlier. But my goal, in addition to my YouTube goal, is more views. I'm shooting for 8 billion views. That's kind of one of my larger missions. But so it goes. The order right now is video from every ocean in the solar system, every moon, on every planet, on every asteroid. To get that video photography of the oceans on every moon, whether it's on the surface or below the icy surface. A lot of these moons have an icy surface. Apparently, I mean, as the public, we've never seen the surface of these moons. So we gotta buy what the different space organizations run by these government organizations are telling us. So for all we know, the surface of the moon and all these other moons here in the solar system could have an atmosphere, and maybe it's not a black sky, maybe it's not a dark sky with no stars. Maybe from the surface of the moon and these other moons, maybe it's a different colors. Maybe Mars isn't a vacant dead planet. Maybe it does have an atmosphere with maybe it is breathable, and maybe with the spiel we've been given by these government CIA Nazi-run space companies is actually bullshit. You know, so what I'm facilitating here is here in the private sector, for us to work together to get the honest view from the surface of these moons and planets. So it's not an elite thing anymore. It's not a secret hidden government thing anymore. It's not a bureaucratic thing. No, SpaceX isn't a bureaucratic organization. SpaceX is, they are a private organization, and they don't really have a public facing PR department. They don't announce when they're doing things, but they're not a government organization, and it's a big difference. They do have government contracts. They do have military contracts, so that is obvious. But they do have a pretty honest CEO, and they have a president who appears to be a public sector individual as well, not a secret military individual, Gwynne Shotwell. So I believe SpaceX has a humanitarian effort going here. And the data and the visuals that we have been getting and that we will get from SpaceX will continue to be in the interest of the public, you and me. So that's what I'm doing here at Ocean Cam to get the real imagery from these other moons and planets, not the fake CRAP, but the real stuff, so that we can actually be motivated about what's out there, not be put to sleep by the information that we get that's in mathematical and complex words. Maybe we could just make it really simple and say what we're actually seeing. So that's what I'm moving here. Get these get the imagery and the human touch here. It has to be human, you know, because we can send these robots out there and they can be the AI overlords of the earth, and maybe there are multiple AI systems already in existence that run things and build things on their own independently and whatever. I don't know, but us humans, we got to do some stuff too. We can't keep dishing it out to the government and losing our grasp on what's happening here in the world and on the planet. So keep expanding, keep growing. Yeah, it's awesome. So we're doing awesome here at Ocean Camera Space Corp. I'm glad you joined, and for as long as you stay, I'm happy you ventured this way. And I will get in front of the camera here. I think it is windy, so the close-up camera is going to have there's going to be some wind on the mic here, and you will lose the audio on the close-up camera. But I will get in front of the camera here briefly and say something here. Let me zoom out on this camera here. Just my skin doesn't come off, my hair is real. But I have considered dressing up, so I may start wearing different costumes. Like maybe a big mustache, or maybe I'll wear a beard one day. Maybe I'll wear a couple wigs and I'll dress up as different things. Let me know what you think I should dress up as, and I'll come. Maybe I'll be an angel one day. I can wear a lot of different costumes. I think it would be intriguing, it would be interesting, it'd be creative, that'd be kind of fun. So let me know what you think, what kind of outfit I should wear the next time, what kind of costume I should wear. Maybe I should wear a big suit, maybe a big business suit. Maybe I should dress up as, whatever it is you think I should dress up as. Let me know. And I think I might start wearing some costumes to keep it interesting, because I do get on camera quite a bit, and I am a pretty ordinary, an extraordinarily ordinary guy. When you get into meditation, you realize the meaning of what it means to be ordinary. And that is, I can't become a little bit extraordinary in my dress, and my appearance. So, appearances mean a lot of things to a lot of people, so we can work it. Ocean Camera Space Corp. Paul S. Mamakos, currently the CEO, but when a better CEO steps forward, I will step down as CEO and I will take another position here, or maybe I'll stay CEO and someone else can be the president or something. Elon had said that when you look at the C Corp filings, that really the only people that the government cares about when you sign up as a C Corp or as a corporation is the president, the secretary, and the treasurer, and maybe the chairman of the board. So, and I think the president, secretary, and the treasurer can all be the same person, Elon said. So, currently, I am the CEO, the president, the secretary, and the treasurer, and also the chairman of the board of Ocean Camera Space Corp. But that need not continue into the future. So, as much more experienced individuals come forth, I am a world expert when it comes to meditation, astral projection, out-of-body experiences, and the whole meditative world and natural healing and wellness and all that kind of stuff. So I know how to be healthy, but other people know how to run a business and do stuff like that, and maybe better at PR, or maybe better at video photography, or maybe uplink satellite kind of communications. There's an individual named, I posted a video yesterday by a man named Lynn Jones. He actually donated to the channel as well, as he's also my friend, and he occasionally lives at MSX. He has the big truck he has a big school bus kind of thing with the solar panels on the side. So he donated to the channel yesterday, and he also with a video and with money. So thank you, Lynn Jones, and check him out, Starbase today. Yeah, but he has a history also in the network communications department for I think 7 years. So now for sure he would be better than me at the antenna, setting up antennas and stuff like that. So we're all, in my opinion, in my meditative experience, we're all the same awareness interacting with itself, and as personalities here on the earth, we all have different stories. I mean, we are the same essence. We're the same awareness in all the different bodies. It's the same awareness. It's not a copy. It's the same one, same individual working through all the bodies. But the stories that um, the life that awareness has had in that brain, in that body, is different from body to body. So the memories, the experiences, everything is different from body to body. So yeah, I have knowledge and I have experience in the meditative areas and other areas, but y'all, many of y'all, most of y'all, if not all of y'all, have, and I think y'all in some states is singular, and I think that I don't know what the plural aspect of y'all is, but y'all, the version that I'm using, y'all, is it's a plural. It means it's a plural. So I'm saying all of you, y'all. Y'all have different skills and things than I do, and the more avenues, the more personalities that work here at Ocean Camera Space Corp that are move the mission forward, whether it's working out on a salary or just working as a volunteer, as I did for many months before I started getting paid from YouTube. It was all volunteer until from March, April, May, June, I think. 4 months of zero income and just putting out money to keep the channel going for myself without any income. So I think July I received my first income from YouTube for the work I'd done in June. So it took me 4 months without any guarantee of anything. So you're welcome to contribute and help out here at Ocean Cam. I spent several $1,000s in the beginning to keep going and everything. It was just out of pure excitement and joy about what I was doing. So yeah, you're welcome to contribute. You definitely have different skills than I do, if not a different perspective. So the space organizations here on the Earth are varied, and they have varied different technologies, because the different countries and different areas have different skills, just like different humans have different skills from each other. And also different governments and corporations have kept different secrets and trade secrets. So there's over 50 different types of rocket engines that you can build, whether they're liquid, solid, or magnetic, or ion, or nuclear. There's over 60 different designs apparently that can get you to orbit. So we're working with the liquid and the solid here, rockets, and those are just two of over 60 different type of rocket designs. Or transportation designs that can get you into space. Apparently, that's what David Adair said. So, yeah, there's a lot of types of technology out there, and we're only utilizing maybe one or two of them here at this launch site. Never mind the newer ones that are coming out, like spin launch and the Astra water rocket. So those are in addition to those 60 that already exist. Whether it's like a nuclear fusion containment, magnetic fusion containment rocket engine designed to developed in the 1970s, and that one apparently went near the speed of light. That rocket, and it created a vacuum in the atmosphere because it launched so fast that the atmosphere, the vacuum of space came down to the surface of the Earth, and there was a big vacuum that after that rocket launched in the 70s, that nuclear fusion containment rocket by David Adair out of Los Alamos, and it landed in the Groom Lake area. It went so fast that it created like a tornado from space down to the surface of the Earth, and there was a vacuum, and the guys had to hold on to different things to keep from getting pulled up into space from the surface of the Earth. So these are the types of technologies that we're not privy to, that have been kept hidden And the reason David Adair destroyed his rocket engine, he could build it again, is because they wanted to use it for first strike capabilities here on the Earth to nuke someone else on the other side of the Earth before they could do anything about it. So in the military, it's all about getting to the other side of the Earth and bombing somebody faster than the other people. So that's where a lot of these hidden technologies have gone to. These rockets, it's all gone to the deep black military sector, because it's all about division here on the Earth. Once the reason the meditative information is important is because as long as we limit ourselves to our five senses and we don't do any of that deep inner work, that spiritual meditation work, where you get connected to the larger being that we are, you're only going to be thinking about your five senses. As long as you never relax enough to tune into what you actually are. When you look at Star Wars and Luke's, and all that stuff, and Yoda, it's all about the Force. And if you're just limiting yourself to the five senses, you're never going to be like a Luke Skywalker, or you're never going to be like Yoda. You're never going to be floating. You're never going to go out of body, because you're never going to develop the Force, the sensitivity that babies are born with. Babies are pretty upset when they're born, because everything is loud, everything is foreign, and nobody's operating at the level of spirit, of soul. So the babies are open to all the energies of all these ignorant adults who are doing harmful things to these very sensitive babies, because they haven't closed down their senses at that point. So they have more senses than five. The babies can do a lot more. They have a lot more senses than a lot of these than every adult here on the planet, because the babies are open. And it's only in the first 7 years of life that they close down. So if you want to have like a really special baby, if you read a book called Anastasia by Vladimir Megre, and you'll learn how they treated their baby in Russia, out in the bogs, out in the wilderness, or you can read a book by Ingo Swann called something about the child. One of the new books published by a great mystic called Ingo Swann. He is one of the greatest in modern times. You can also look at Rudolf Steiner from the Waldorf schools, and he wrote a lot of books about anthroposophy in the early 1900s, and it's thought that a lot of that information was used in Germany in the Nazi times. And our history is very complex and misunderstood, because a lot of people like to hide things. But once we get beyond the five senses, then we will not have to worry about first strike capability here on the Earth and bombing other countries and focusing on profit, because we'll have the bigger picture of collaboration, knowing that we have existed here in the universe forever. We are the universe. We're not on the Earth. We are the Earth. We are the solar system. We, you, me, we are the one awareness. We are the solar system. We have been here forever. There was no beginning. There will be no end, because we, the one awareness, we have existed forever. There was no beginning. There will be no end. So we can bomb these bodies that we're inhabiting for fun, but we're going to keep reincarnating. You're never going to escape, because life continues. Life is alive. Life is infinite. Life never ends. And we will continue to reincarnate on these different bodies, on all these different planets, because every planet in the universe is alive. Every piece of matter in the universe is part of the larger being that we are, and we will continue to exist forever. So the real interesting aspect of that is that we can continue to play and act. You can't wake someone up who's pretending to be asleep. I'll say that once more. You can't wake somebody up who's pretending to be asleep. So if you intentionally limit yourself to the five senses, and you hide all the secret stuff in the secret military space programs, and you deny what is there, as long as you ignore what's there, you are going to continue to limit yourself to the five senses, and you will propagate the warlike, militaristic defense, government, kingship, prison system that we have here on the Earth. So the way beyond that, again, is to open up your awareness, realize what you are, what is there, whether that's through Christianity, through Buddhism, Tibetanism, transcendental meditation, or maybe it's through being an agnostic, but learning to relax with or enjoying music. Whatever it is that gets you into your heart, that will help you see clearly, more clearly than maybe you currently do. And you will become more like a child, more like a baby. Your senses, your sensitivities will begin to develop more and more. You will open up energetically. You will let go of the encrusted food in your body. You'll learn to be more vibrant. Your pineal gland, you're just below, at the base of the brain, in the brain. The pineal gland is one of many glands in the body. A lot of the glands in the body are atrophied, or they go into hibernation. So depending on the type of food that you eat, again, I have a bachelor's degree in wellness, holistic wellness. I have studied a lot of what in the West are called alternative medicine or complementary medicine. I am not a doctor, so talk to your doctor before considering to learn more about any of the things that I'm talking about. But as you wake up your pineal gland and the other glands in your body that have hibernated due to the activities and the stiffness of a lot of people's approach to life and the foods that they eat, then you'll begin to notice and tune into the vibrations throughout your spine, and maybe you'll see what happens. So that's my blessing to you this morning, or to myself in the other body that I am in you and you are in me. And we will continue to have a lot more fun. Okay, so what I was getting at is, so we can have a warlike function with each other here on the earth and here in the universe, because again, we are everywhere in the universe. There's nothing in the universe that's not alive. So again, you have all these scientists who grew up in these cookie cutter spaceship programs and cookie cutter schools, and they haven't had the meditative experience. They're still in their five senses. So everything you've learned and been taught in school has been from the five senses, from these militaristic, government-funded, encrusted, calcified pineal gland knowledge. But maybe you were lucky like me, or maybe in your earlier childhood you had some magical experiences and you didn't intentionally choose to forget them. You're not pretending to be asleep, and you actually acknowledge what's there, and you've had a better life because of that. I've had a really great life because when I was 19, I woke up, I had a sleep paralysis experience, and I learned soon after that about sleep paralysis, meditation, out-of-body experience, and yoga. I learned all that when I was 19. And then I really went into that. I let go of some of the encrusted cookie cutter programs that you can go through in these different colleges and space organizations and physics classes. I took physics and all that for 2 years. Nuclear engineering, I actually studied some of that hard stuff with eigenvalue equations and half-lives. I studied radioactive decay and some of that stuff for 2 years, and it just wasn't making any sense to me. It was like mush. And then I had this magical experience when I was 19, and actually I went with it. I was flying airplanes for another 2.5 years, but so I actually have some skill. I know how to fly an airplane, and I didn't die. I have over 300 hours of pilot and command and flight time. So I do have some capability, and I have proven with the FAA at least that I am capable and adept at certain things. But again, I have not told you what I have been leading up to. As more and more fun, happy people interact with each other, we can have a more vibrant and happy place here on the earth and in space, and we can collaborate with each other. And so we will be able to transcend. We'll have an easier, more relaxed time here on the earth. We'll have less weapons pointed at each other. We'll have less of a need to keep these technologies secret from each other. Like if you can hit somebody on the other side of the earth in less than a minute with your rocket, because it goes over 1,000 miles an hour, or maybe it goes close to the speed of light or half the speed of light. And so we already have that rocketry capability. And maybe the problem in the 70s or in the 40s or 50s was, how do we slow down this rocket technology that we have, which doesn't use any liquid fuel or solid fuel? How do we slow it down? It wasn't an issue of how do we make this rocket and how do we make it go super fast. maybe that's the situation here on the Earth. They've already developed how to do these rockets in the 40s and 50s and maybe earlier that go faster than you can imagine and go out into space. Maybe at that time it was like, how do we slow it down? But here in the private sector, again, all that stuff probably went into the military sector for the first strike capability so that we could bomb the other guys on the other side of the Earth. And probably some of the other civilizations throughout our solar system, we've probably been having wars with them as well. Because if we have wars on the Earth, and if we are limited to the 5 senses, if the people manufacturing and in charge of all the money flow here on the Earth are limited to their 5 senses, then you can guarantee, you can bet your bottom dollar that all that technology went into the secret programs here on the Earth, and it's been all going into the military sector. So that's my spiel. As we become more aware, more alert, my mission is to blend the tech people, most of y'all, with the crowd that I hung out with for many years, because the people who know how to go into the heart, whether it's Heart Math, the Heart Math Institute, or whether it's the Monroe Institute or the Hemisync Institute, Hemisync LLC, I don't know what their business is called, but there's a lot of, or whether it's the Ions, or whether it's Gaia or Gaiam, 2 different organizations. The whole yoga people, if we can get the happy people working with the tech people, that's part of my mission here at Ocean Camera Space Corp. And that's why I veer off into the woods that disappoint a lot of y'all. But really, it's for all of our benefit, because the more we work together and be happy, then the less need we have to keep the technology that we come up with secret. And the more we can actually share the experiences we have with each other. It'll be a world where we can see how happy can we be, how much can we share, and what can we do together. How happy can we get? If we want to become a type 1 civilization, as Michio Kaku talks about, we're going to have to tap into these other senses. Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, he had an out-of-body experience when he was flying helicopters in Vietnam. When he was crashing, he talked about going exterior. You have to look at some of his interviews, but I think he did one with Brian Rose. I think that's the guy's name. But so Robert Kiyosaki has talked briefly, the guy who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad, about going exterior. So even he knows about the out-of-body experience, and he's like, yes, it is true. And if you look at the Think and Grow Rich, they talked about the 6th sense in that book. So if you are into the finance world and you have read that book, then you know that they talk about developing the other senses, just like I was talking about. And the more we collaborate on those other sense levels, I mean, okay, here's a great example. We only see the visible light here on the Earth, but we know a variety of animals, even whether it's iguanas or bats, they have different senses. They see in different frequencies of light. I mean, whether it's UV light, infrared light, so the frequencies of light that the eyes can operate is a multitude. So the visible light is only a small spectrum of light. So if we're only sending our probes out there looking for life on these other moons and planets, and we're only looking at the visible spectrum, and we really haven't developed the capability to finesse different beings out there who are operating on different frequencies of light, then we are severely, maybe you have to get to one of these planets and hang around for a while for your body to synchronize, work with some of the elements of these planets. You got to eat some of the food from these planets before you can see at the frequency of light that these other living things are working at. Maybe they're physical bodies, but we can't see them because each planet has a different frequency. So if you're only limiting your rovers and everything else to the frequency of the Earth and the small spectrum of light that we have here on the Earth, and these other planets have different frequencies, and the beings that live on these planets operate at different frequencies because everything vibrates differently on different planets, then you're not going to see what's there. Because so that does give a lot of credibility to Elon's mission to go to Mars, because if we want to find life on Mars, we're probably going to have to live there for a while so that we can adjust to the frequency of Mars so that we can physically see what's there. Because I've heard that people on the space, up there in space on the space station, whether it's on the Mir or on the International Space Station, I've heard that the hormones in the body operate differently than here on the Earth. The crystal growth in space is different than here on the Earth. And the healing factors in space are different than on the Earth. And the flow of the blood in the body is different than here on the Earth. So instead of going out toward the feet, the blood is maybe more toward the more toward the surface of the skin, rather than pulled down by gravity. So the blood moves around differently in the body in space, and the healing in space is different than on the Earth. So in a similar way, each of these different planets has a different frequency. So yeah, again, the more we get out there, the more we get people out there, the more we take video and imagery of the liquid oceans, and the more we get out there and actually live and operate beyond our five senses, the happier we might be. Because if we do exist, if we are all the one being operating and living throughout the universe simultaneously in all these different bodies and in all these different elements, if you look at the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, they show people walking on the treetops. From treetops, they have all these seemingly magical skills that they talk about also in the yogic texts in yoga in India. They have all these siddhis, powers, that they also have in the Chinese movies and stuff with the chi. And a lot of these video games, they have making these balls of energy, and it's always about war in the video games. But again, the mafia type people, they make these video games, and the different organizations, they know the kids are dumbed down and they're not allowed to develop into their different skills and sensitivities. The kids are funneled like cattle into these different directions. So as long as we're putting the kids through these schools where they have to do these rote and robotic types of actions and computations with no emotion and no soul, then it's easier to sell things to these kids in a warlike method, because the kids are unhappy with what they're doing because they're treated like cattle. I think after the age of 7 in India, you're considered an adult. You may still be living with your parents, but your brain is independent. You're an independent individual at the age of 7 years old, or maybe 8. So in theosophy, at the age of 7, you've gone through a whole you've gone through the 7-year cycle, and at that point you're in the Venus cycle. At the age of 7, you enter the 7-year cycle of 7 is Venus. So in the first 7 years, it's the moon. So yeah, all these different traditions have this different knowledge that we don't have here in the West, because again, we are limited to our 5 senses, and we are very we're like cattle here in the United States. I am not like a cattle, because I'm a universal citizen, and that's why I changed my name to Prince Paul Mamakos in 2017, because I am a prince of the universe. And when you become royal, when you know the reality here in the universe of life everywhere, everything's alive, and the one being exists in all the bodies, then you're more kind with other people, because you know that right there in that other body is you. It is you there in the other body. Because there's only one awareness, there's only one being that permeates and expands throughout the entire universe. And as you expand your sensitivities, you expand your life. Because as you realize that you exist over there in that other body simultaneously, and that you, in fact, you don't die, then you're not afraid of death, because you know that you exist over there in that other element, and in that other body, and that animal over there. It's your awareness. And the only thing that differentiates you in your body from you over there in that other body is the capabilities, the functions, the movements that the body you're in can perform. Are you limited to 2 degrees of motion? Are you able to move in 3 degrees of motion? A human body can move in multiple dimensions, vertical, horizontal, depth, And also, you know, we got multiple ways of functioning here with our arms and legs. Trees don't necessarily have legs, so they're kind of limited in more of a, they're not as able to move around. Water is also not as so able to move around. Granite is not so able to move around. Granite does live for hundreds of millions of years. I think the youngest granite on Earth is 500 million years old. So when you're considering age, you got to realize that everything has a vibration. And again, I've said this many times in other videos. Maybe you haven't listened or heard, or maybe it went over your head. But everything has a vibration. Everything has an energetic structure behind it. E equals MC squared. Everything has energy behind it. And as you get into meditation and realize some of the larger senses that you as a human have, you realize that where there's awareness, where there's energy, there's awareness. So energy permeates the universe, right? Awareness permeates the universe. And awareness is alive. When you go to sleep or when you're really relaxed and you're not thinking about moving your arms and legs, you're just an awareness. So awareness is alive. And in all the bodies, it's just that one awareness. Each body has different capabilities for motion, for thought. So that's what distinguishes and that's what isolates somewhat these different brains, which are limited. They limit that awareness. They limit you in the different bodies from doing different things and knowing different things. So yeah, there's a lot out there. And that's what I'm sharing with y'all here, with myself. I'm sharing it with myself. I'm motivated because you are me and I am you, because there's only one awareness. So as I help you, I help myself. As you help me, you help yourself. Because there's just one. You got it. That's it. You got it. All right, everybody. I love it. I love it. I love being able to do what I like to do. Yeah, they do 3 shifts. No, actually do MBB. They do 4 shifts. I've heard there are 4 shifts here. All right, I'll check out the chat on the good camera. Sorry for not moving the camera around. I just opened my eyes. Okay, I'll move to the next location. I'll move to the next site. I have covered everything here in depth to a certain degree, but I will get some more excitement over down at the launch site, I believe, next. That's my next intentional location to go to. And happy times here, happy times. Thank you for joining Paul Mamakos, Ocean Camera Space Corp. Or if you prefer, if you're into the meditation stuff, Prince Paul S Mamakos. I did change my name in 2017 legally at the courthouse. And I'm an author, and I have an outofbodyjournal.com and oceancam.space. CEO of Ocean Camera Space Corp, because I do care about space. Signing out. Namaste. Peace to you, and be well. Whether you watch this in 2021, December 14th, I believe it is. Let me see here. December 14th, Tuesday at 2:42 p.m. from SpaceX South Texas Starbase build site. Looking at the new high bay getting built. And the summary is they do have a couple sections there connected to the crane, the big Buckner crane, but not sure when it's going to get lifted. They're still adding some siding to that section there. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining. Good. Namaste.